Ladies and gentlemen, the day has finally come. We have the live action Disney Snow White remake, quite possibly the most controversial movie in like the last 5 or so years. But you know what? I made a video on my main channel where I went through all of the controversies surrounding the movie. So I'll leave a link to that video in the description below if you care. I'm going to try not to get into the controversies too much in this video because I kind of just want to focus on the movie itself. So I will preface this by saying that I don't like the original Snow White movie. It's just very nothing. Like if you actually go back and watch it, which I did last year, Snow White is just like a boring nothing character. She doesn't really have much going on for her. It's like weird how like one of the controversies was that they were potentially going to take out the love story between her and the prince. And I remember just being like, what love story? There is no love story in the original Snow White movie. Like, just to be clear, Snow White and the prince do not actually have a conversation with one another throughout the entire runtime of the movie. It's very bizarre. Snow White does not have like a well-defined relationship with the evil queen. Like the majority of the runtime of Snow White, the original movie, is just like her bossing the dwarves around, telling them to do chores. That's like the main thrust of the movie. It's like everything that you think, like I feel like all the iconic stuff that you would think or that people have like gaslit themselves into thinking that it's about is like barely even in the movie. So like the original Snow White is not good. So at the end of the day, like regardless, what I'm trying to say is this team, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation where it's like, if you just did like a faithful remake of the movie, you're going to be making a mid movie. You're just going to be making a bad movie that doesn't work in 2025. And then if you decide like, okay, well, we should probably make some changes here, expand on some stuff, they actually try to tell an interesting story, well, then you might have a bunch of people being like, oh, they made changes to the original. Wow, I'm a modern audience member that for whatever reason is like autistically obsessed with things being exactly the same that they were. I want to watch the same piece of media over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so the tightrope they did indeed walk. And how successful were they? Nah. It's okay. I think I actually like the overall story that they're trying to tell. It is definitely a better movie, more interesting movie than the original Snow White movie because Snow White actually does have a character to her. She does have like dreams and aspirations, and she just has like a much more compelling story. I do think that they fix a lot of the problems in the original movie where like she actually has a relationship with the prince. Like there is an actual love story here. And I quite enjoyed them. Like they actually define her relationship with the evil queen, and it's like it's pretty good, pretty compelling stuff. They give her more of a compelling backstory and motivations and all of that. So I just think that a lot of the story stuff that wasn't really present in the original stuff, they actually flesh out and make pretty interesting. The main problem with this, however, is just a lot of really unfortunate decisions. So I think the first thing that really needs to be called out is Gal Gadot is a terrible actress. I mean, she is beyond awful. I sometimes I wonder if I'm too much of a Gal Gadot hater. And by the way, just to be clear, I am not even talking about the controversies with her opinions on Israel and Palestine. I'm not, that's not anything to factor here. I have just always been shocked and aghast that she continues to get work in Hollywood while not being able to act. It's so bizarre. And so they cast her to be this like almost like a like Agatha sort of character, right? This like charismatic evil queen that's very larger than life and bombastic. and she just cannot pull it off. I mean, all of the scenes with her are just like they fall flat because Gal Gadot simply does not bring what she needs to bring to the table. And yes, the dwarves are horrifying. They look like they fell into the uncanny valley. And you would think, like, okay, well, you'll get used to it as the movie goes on. You don't. These Polar Express looking at mother effers are horrifying through and through throughout the entire runtime of the movie. You simply do not ever get used to them. And it's interesting because there was the whole controversy of like, oh well, why did Disney decide to make them CGI? Is it really because they were going to go in like another direction? Because there was that leaked set photo of what people thought were going to be the dwarves in the movie, but they aren't actually the dwarves in the movie. And so they decided to change course and replace them with these CGI dwarves. Those characters are actually in the movie, and they're like, again, I guess I want to try not to spoil things, but they're like bandits actually. They're not the dwarves. And so now I don't know. Like, I don't know if if they were originally going to be the dwarf characters and then they changed them to bandits in order to save face or something, so that be like, oh no, look, they're still in the movie. We were actually going to make the dwarf CGI the whole time. It's just an artistic choice. But it's like, I also don't think so, because what's bizarre is that they decided not to cast dwarves, like real dwarves, to play the dwarves. But there is one of the bandits is a real human being with dwarfism. I don't know. Because the other thing I was thinking about was, I mean, maybe they did want to make CGI dwarves so that they can have all of the more exaggerated features like Dopey's ears and like the really big noses. It's like, I guess that is possible, because they also do like allude to the fact that the dwarves are like magical creatures, like they're not human beings with dwarfism, right? Because like when they see Snow White, they're like, a human? I don't know. At the end of the day, it doesn't work. It's just bad. Now, one thing I will say, and listen, love her or hate her, I think most of you hate her. Rachel Zegler shines as Snow White. She's genuinely fantastic. Unlike Gal Gadot, she can act, she can sing, and she absolutely carries this movie. Like, similarly to the Little Mermaid remake, where it's like the movie that's around her is like, yeah, but like, similarly to how Halle Bailey, I think that's her name, she was just like really good, and so I was like engaged watching her on screen. The same goes for Rachel Zegler. It's like, even though like there's just a lot of surrounding her that's like, I was engaged whenever she was on screen and she was performing her lines and whatnot. So Rachel Zegler is good. It honestly is a shame that she's done her career like that, where like she's just said a bunch of controversial things, because I think that she's a really great actress. Like, somebody's a great actress when they can elevate a bad movie, when like, even when they're in a bad movie, you're going like, you know what? This character is still engaging to watch. Like, she was good in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Do you understand how impressive that is? to be good in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I mean, that has to say something about your acting prowess. I will say, visually, the movie is sometimes pretty good, pretty nice, pretty, kind of pretty looking. Sometimes like the cinematography is good and like it feels magical. Then other times it feels kind of like sterile. It's a little uneven in that sense. The music itself I thought was really good. I actually like the new songs. I think they add some stuff to the classic songs that I thought weren't offensive in any way. I will say, as a musical, I think that the singing scenes, I do wish they were a little more dynamic. Like, There are some scenes where it's like they're literally just standing there singing, and I'm like, do something. Like have them walking around while they're singing. Have them like have the camera doing interesting things. So some of the musical elements are like they definitely fall a little flat. But yeah, overall, if you have a child, take them to see it. Like they will like it. Hopefully, I don't think they'll be mentally scarred by the dwarves. I assume in the mind of a child, it'll just be normal. Of course, I as a child liked the Polar Express. Now as an adult, horrifying. So yeah, definitely take your daughter to see it. I mean that's a weird thing about Snow White as well. Like I don't even know like who has nostalgia for this that's like alive. Like this movie came out in 1937, before World War II. Like I don't even like that's always the weird thing about Snow White as well with this remake is that it's like who exactly are you appealing to? Like I don't think millennials or like younger children care about Snow White. But I think if you take a younger child to this, they will grow to like Snow White. But I don't know, like if you're just like a millennial, like, and you don't care about Snow White, where it's like I think you might be able to like tolerate a Lion King or an Aladdin, or a Little Mermaid because you have nostalgia for the original movie. If you don't have nostalgia for the original movie, it's not really worthwhile seeing it. But at the end of the day, I think like comparing this to the original Snow White is definitely an interesting exercise, and it was interesting at the very least to watch both of them and see all the changes and see all the slight improvements that or not slight, pretty big improvements that they make over the original. So it's like as an analysis, I was interested. But am I going to sit here and say like, oh yeah, you got to go watch this movie? It's really phenomenal. Unfortunately, no. So yeah, that's the movie. If you watched it, let me know what you think. Are you planning on seeing it? Are you not planning on seeing it? I wish we lived in a world where actors could give their political opinions and then we the audience can like put that to the side and just consume art for the sake of it being art and not care about that stuff. But alas, we don't live in this world. So we'll see how this movie does, but let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.